Us from Oakville. Meantime, officials in the city of Toronto saying they'll officially be moving into the red zone with additional restrictions this weekend. The Premier, though, Doug Ford, says the province will continue with its targeted approach.
The only way we're going to be able to beat this, folks, is by a targeted approach. And what is good for Toronto isn't always good for Peel or good for York. But what our framework does, it creates a baseline. And I've always said, no one knows their area better than the local medical officer of health, the local mayor, local MPs and MPPs and councillors. We're going to take a targeted approach moving forward.
We're talking about how the biggest city in the country, Toronto, extending restrictions on indoor dining until at least mid-December. Of course, some small businesses, restaurants, not happy about that, what it's going to mean for them. It's difficult to sit outside on a patio, of course, in Toronto, many parts of the country in December. Rocco Mastrangelo is the co-owner, general manager of Cafe Diplomatico in Toronto's Little Italy neighborhood, a very well-known institution, of course. Good to have you on the program today, and thanks for taking a bit of time for us, Rocco.
Oh, thank you for having me on.
Okay, so I know this is obviously not the news you and many others in your profession were hoping for. Your reaction?
Again, very disappointed. Again, I'm still very confused as to why we are getting shut down or not being allowed for indoor dining. As far as I'm concerned and what's been told through the media is that, restaurants really have not caused the case numbers to rise. The sheer fact that we've been not having any indoor dining for approximately, I think, 32 days. And those numbers have been rising pretty consistently with the indoor dining not happening. So I don't understand where they're getting their information from.
We're going to show some of the photos you provided of your restaurant, your cafe, of course, and what it looks like in in the summertime when you got a lot of people out there out on the patio and the extended patio as well. You mentioned something that's really important, and I just want you to drill deeper if you can for us. The idea that some restaurant owners like yourself have said, well, where is the evidence that restaurants are super spreader locations, and where's the evidence that restaurants are causing a lot of trouble here? Why are we being penalized if there isn't, sort of an overwhelming amount of evidence of that? What are you getting from public health on sort of that argument?
You know what? To be honest with you, they just pinned it on us, or I believe, in my personal opinion, they're spoon feeding us these restrictions for leading us into probably a curfew soon enough. So I think the worst is still to come. It will affect many more businesses in Toronto, let alone restaurants. I got a funny feeling that's the direction that we're going. If we look at Europe, what's happening in Europe, we've kind of been following their lead with the color-coded systems, and the curfews that are happening in Europe, I believe, is on its way to Canada.
I know your restaurant has been around for more than 50 years, and what some people may not always remember is when we say that a restaurant goes out of business, and we do get updates, Rocco, every day in cities across the country of a well-known neighborhood restaurant just can't survive anymore, and they thank their clients over the last 10, 15, in your case perhaps 50 years, and that's it. They will not be reopening. And you think about the effect that has on everybody, not just you as the co-owner, but all your staff, the wait staff, the people, in the kitchen, and all their families as well. It becomes sort of this cascade effect on a lot of different people. What's the impact it's been having on you guys?
So I have to be honest with you, we've been actually quite blessed. First and foremost, we have very loyal customers, as you mentioned. It's been around 52 years, same family, same location. My staff, I have many staff that's been with me for many years and very loyal. I think also we've been blessed with good weather. So far we've been able to, let's say, withstand the punches. Unfortunately, once the weather gets to be below zero, let's put it that way, I think that my choice would be to shut down, because I did horribly in March with takeout and delivery. It wasn't feasible at all. It was very stressful for everyone that was working. So I think that, again, there is no reason for the restaurants to be punished, because basically it's handing down a punishment to us for no reasons. I believe whatever they tracked back between October 6th, going back 12 weeks, they determined that about 20 establishments in the hospitality industry in Toronto, out of 7,500 restaurants, had a so-called outbreak of some sort, but an outbreak could be 2 people. So the rest of us got thrown into the bunch of these few places. It's really ridiculous. And I'd like to just add one more thing that I find really ridiculous is, and I'm not a type of person to really point the finger at anybody, but the GTA have hundreds and hundreds of establishments currently operating these enclosed patios. That makes absolute no sense at all, because it's basically indoor dining. There's structures that have been set up that are well done, fully framed with exit doors, fans, heating, beautiful places, but I don't understand how they're allowed to be operating. So if it is to be the restaurant that's causing case numbers to go higher, having these establishments basically doing a wild, wild west theme here, do whatever you want, get away with murder, it's not going to help our cause. It's going to be inevitable we'll be shut down for longer periods of time.
Rocco, I appreciate you taking the time today to get your message out there. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me your time. Have a good day.
You as well. Rocco Mastrangelo is the co-owner, general manager of Cafe Diplomatico in Toronto.